Imagine if Nazi Germany had possessed the power to strike New York City with an intercontinental missile in 1944. Imagine if it had been only months away from developing a nuclear bomb. Imagine if the first man to reach space had not been an American astronaut, but a Nazi soldier wearing a swastika on his arm. This is not science fiction. These are documented facts. Deep within the secret laboratories of the Third Reich, the deadliest scientific project of the 20th century was underway. The V program, which gave birth to the V1, V2, and V3. Weapons the world was not ready for, but which paved the way for modern rocketry and nuclear deterrence. This is the full story, how Nazi Germany came within reach of the first nuclear ballistic missile in history, and how that quest forever changed the course of science. In the early 1930s, Werner von Braun was just a young student passionate about astrophysics. He joined a small amateur rocketry group known as Verein für Raumschifffahrt, the Society for Space Travel. His dream was simple: to send a rocket into space. But when Hitler came to power in 1933, the Nazi leadership saw in rocketry not science, but supremacy. The army recruited von Braun under the command of General Walter Dornberger, who would later oversee the world's first large-scale military rocket program. By 1937, they began constructing a secret testing facility on the Baltic coast, Peenemünde. There, far from the eyes of the world, humanity's most ambitious technological experiment began. The project began with the V1, nicknamed the Flying Bomb. It looked like a small pilotless aircraft powered by a simple pulse-edged engine, which emitted a stuttering buzz, a sound so distinct that Londoners called them buzz bombs. Each V1 flew at around 640 kilometers per hour, carrying 850 kilograms of explosives. But its accuracy was poor. Of the more than 10,000 launched at London, fewer than one-third reached their intended targets. Yet it created mass terror. It was the first time in history civilians were bombed by unmanned weapons. But Hitler wanted more. He wanted a weapon that could not be stopped. In the summer of 1942, von Braun's team successfully launched the world's first V2 rocket. It stood 14 meters tall, weighed 12 tons, and ran on liquid fuel, a mixture of ethanol and liquid oxygen, carrying a 1-ton warhead. More importantly, it was the first human-made object to reach the edge of space, soaring 90 kilometers above Earth before descending at 5 times the speed of sound, about 5,500 kilometers per hour. For the first time, mankind had left the atmosphere. And because it traveled faster than sound, the V2 struck without warning. In London, people would see the explosion before hearing it. The sound arrived only seconds later, because the rocket had outrun it. Scientifically, the V2 was astonishing: a mechanical gyroscopic guidance system for directional control, a fuel flow regulator to adjust trajectory mid-flight, a streamlined aerodynamic body of steel and aluminum, the ability to reach near-space altitudes of 90 kilometers. Over 3,172 V2 rockets were launched between 1944 and 1945. Each cost the equivalent of $1.5 million today. But the true price wasn't money, it was human life. In the Mittelwerk underground factories, over 20,000 forced laborers from the Mittelbau-Dora concentration camp died under inhuman conditions. The death rate was higher than on the battlefronts themselves. From a technical standpoint, the V2 was the direct ancestor of all modern rockets. The propulsion principles von Braun developed are the same ones used by NASA and SpaceX today. When American scientists examined captured V2 South after the war, they realized they were facing technology decades ahead of its time. One of them famously said, "The V2 wasn't a weapon of war. It was the seed of the space age." At the same time, Hitler ordered the development of a super weapon, the V3. But it wasn't a rocket. It was a multi-charge cannon. Its design used a series of side chambers that fired explosive charges in sequence, accelerating a massive projectile to 1,500 meters per second. The goal: to bombard London from northern France, 165 kilometers away. A secret facility was built at Memoix, but before it could fire a single shell, British Lancaster bombers destroyed it with bunker buster bombs. The project was over before it began. Chapter 6. The race for the atomic bomb. Few know that Nazi Germany also had a secret nuclear effort known as the Uranium Club, led by Werner Heisenberg, one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century. Its goal was to harness nuclear fission for energy or destruction. Documents show that the Germans came close to building a working nuclear reactor, but failed to achieve a sustained chain reaction due to shortages of uranium-235 and heavy water. Experiments at Heigerloch were nearing success when Allied troops captured the facility. Yet declassified intelligence reports later revealed that Germany might have been 1 to 2 years away from building a working nuclear bomb. Imagine if Hitler had combined a V-2 rocket with a nuclear warhead, a missile that could cross Europe in minutes and reduce a city to ashes. The world stood at the edge of annihilation without even realizing it. After the fall of Berlin, the Allies launched a secret race to capture German scientists. The US called it Operation Paperclip. Over 1,600 engineers and scientists, including Wernher von Braun, were quietly moved to America. The Soviets, too, seized hundreds of others and tons of blueprints. From this division, a new global conflict was born: the Cold War. Hitler's dream of domination had split into two rival empires, one that would reach the moon and another that would dominate the missile race. In 1969, when Neil Armstrong took his first step on the moon, a shadow from Peenemünde was standing behind him. Wernher von Braun, the same man who built the V-2 for Hitler, had designed the Saturn V rocket that carried mankind to the stars. From the ashes of destruction came the dawn of spaceflight. From a mind once bound to tyranny emerged humanity's greatest leap. The dual face of genius. The story of the V-2 and V-3 is not just about war or science. It's about the double-edged nature of human genius. The same intellect that can build a rocket to explore the stars can also create a weapon that ends civilizations. Perhaps when we look today at intercontinental ballistic missiles, we should remember their origin was not a race toward the heavens, but a desperate race for survival in an age when mankind nearly lost its soul. This is Ghosts of History. Don't miss it.